A former general, a two-time leader, a controversial legacy, Muhammadu Buhari is dead. According to an official statement from the Nigerian presidency, Buhari died peacefully in the early hours of Saturday, July 13, 2025, while receiving medical care in London, United Kingdom. His death follows a long period of health complications, some of which had previously taken him out of the public eye during his time in office. The announcement sent a wave of reflection through the country and beyond. Buhari, a figure whose leadership defined two distinct chapters of Nigeria's political history, leaves behind a legacy filled with both reverence and controversy. In response to the news, Nigeria's sitting president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, ordered the national flag to be flown at half-mast for a designated period and called for national mourning across all states of the federation. Government offices, institutions, and diplomatic missions have been directed to comply with immediate effect. In a swift move to manage the transition of arrangements, Vice President Kashim Shettima was deployed to London on behalf of the federal government. His mandate to oversee the formal process of returning the former president's body to Nigerian soil with dignity and protocol. Reports suggest that senior Nigerian diplomats in the UK have already begun preparing the reception of Buhari's remains ahead of a state-organized repatriation. This moment has stirred solemn reflection not only within Nigeria's borders, but across much of the African continent. For some, Buhari's passing signals the end of an era marked by military power turned civilian governance, political promises both kept and broken, and a leadership style that was as disciplined as it was distant. Born in 1942 in the dusty northern town of Dora, in Katsina State, Muhammadu Buhari's journey into the heart of Nigerian and African politics is a story woven with contradictions. Shaped by military boots, democratic ballots, and the heavy weight of public expectation. He was a soldier before he became a statesman. And even as a civilian, the rigidity of the barracks never quite left him. In December 1983, at just 41 years old, Buhari led a military coup that overthrew Nigeria's short-lived Second Republic. He assumed the position of head of state, promising to restore order to a country plagued by economic instability and rampant corruption. His government launched the now infamous War Against Indiscipline, a national campaign that sought to sanitize public behavior. Civil servants were made to form orderly queues. Lateness was punished publicly. Journalists were jailed for publishing falsehoods. To some, this was the structure Nigeria needed. To others, it was authoritarianism dressed in moral uniform. But history had other plans. In 1985, just 2 years into his rule, Buhari himself was overthrown in another coup, this time by his chief of army staff, Ibrahim Babangida. He would spend years in political exile, watching from the sidelines as Nigeria cycled through dictatorships, transitions, and democratic experiments. Then came 2015. The unthinkable happened. After several failed attempts, Buhari returned to the political stage, not with soldiers, but with the support of millions of voters. Riding on promises of integrity, security, and a break from the old order, he defeated President Goodluck Jonathan, becoming the first opposition candidate in Nigerian history to unseat a sitting president through the ballot box. That moment sent ripples across the African continent. In a region where incumbents often cling to power, Buhari's victory, in Jonathan's peaceful concession, became a powerful symbol that democracy, though fragile in parts of Africa, could still work. That power could change hands without war, yet that symbol would be tested. Buhari's presidency would go on to raise difficult questions, not just for Nigerians, but for all Africans about the cost of leadership, the weight of promises, and the struggle between old systems and new expectations. Buhari came into office with 3 clear promises: to fight corruption, crush terrorism, and rebuild Nigeria's broken systems. To many, he represented discipline and stability. His modest lifestyle, strong anti-corruption stance, and refusal to flaunt wealth earned him respect, especially among older Nigerians and northern communities. Under his watch, billions in looted funds were reportedly recovered, and major infrastructure projects, like railways and roads, were initiated or completed. But over time, cracks began to show. Boko Haram and other insurgent groups continued to spread terror, especially in the northeast. The economy entered 2 recessions during his presidency. Unemployment and inflation soared, and Buhari's repeated medical trips to the UK, often without clear updates, raised questions about transparency and leadership. Perhaps most damaging was his response to growing public dissent. During the number-end SARS protests against police brutality, critics accused his government of using force to silence peaceful protesters, leading to a national outcry and international backlash. To his supporters, Buhari was a man of integrity who brought order to chaos. To his critics, he remained distant and silent during some of the country's most painful moments. His legacy, like many in African politics, is one of praise and pain, stability and silence. Since the announcement of Buhari's death, tributes have started pouring in from across the continent. We will continue to follow official updates as funeral arrangements unfold and as tributes and debates continue to shape his legacy. What are your thoughts? How do you remember Muhammadu Buhari as a leader, a president, or a man? Let us know in the comments. For more African stories told by African voices, stay tuned to the African Scoop. This is Africa. This is our story.